You get to look at this wall because you're naughty. Anyway, I think what's weird to me is like, I mean, it's not that weird. It makes sense that like you guys have these weird like hard-ons for um like these mass murderers we celebrate in history and stuff, and like you like idolize them and stuff, especially like Julius Caesar and stuff, because you secretly are still like pining for like Roman era shit, which is like, you know, it's like a step above the cringe level of like 9/11 like vibes, I don't know. Um but um which is, I don't know. I guess it's more like you never let it go. But like it's like I think you guys like you secretly compare yourselves to like these previous conquerors and rulers when like they also had to be smart. Like they weren't good people, okay? I can't speak for Julius Caesar and his final. I don't know who he died as a person, but definitely a huge portion of his life before that moment was less good, okay? That being said though, like he really roughed it out in the military for a huge portion of his like early life. Like he wasn't like a pansy who had to eat delicate veal meat every day and had to have their like asses wiped and to like be dressed in perfumes and stuff. And also, again, they kind of, at least as barbaric as the methods were, which I still don't necessarily condone, but I don't know, I'm still exploring that whole situation, considering some things. At least they had to come up with their own stuff and they had to actually be smart themselves. Like, the thing that's embarrassing is not only do you idolize these people and compare yourselves to them, you don't even do most, like, you can't really attribute the same level of intelligence to yourselves. Like, you don't come up with any of it really yourselves. You just have AI do it for you. And, like, no, you didn't develop this in technology, you paid other people to develop it. Like, did you sit down and like individually code the whatever? I know you out there did that with the Facebook thing at first, but like at some point, but I'm talking about like the current stuff that you actively use to weaponize against humanity for money, basically. Because that's all it is. Like, just call it what it is. It's a really empty thing you fight for. It's truly so empty at its core. There's like no other. So many of you have these mental gymnastics of like, no, I serve a higher power, which is like, I don't know, some of it is blatant, like say like what you perceive to be satanic stuff. Some of it is like, um I don't know. Oh, I want to achieve greatness or I want to be remembered. I don't know. But like I think ultimately like you have to acknowledge that you're really you just don't want to admit to yourself that you're fighting for something so hollow, which is just money. Like, cuz you don't really have allegiances to anything. But anyway, the point is, like, it's bad enough that you idolize mass murderers from history, but it's even worse that at least they had, they at least had the courtesy of being intelligent and, like, on some level, earning that those victories in some capacity. Like, you guys didn't really do anything. You inherited from the chain of suffering that your ancestors put in place in like the big palace of bullshit, you know? And then again, and you just made sure you had all the resources to get people to do what you wanted. Like, and don't get me wrong, Julius did that too, but you know, it's like you don't do anything. You didn't make anything. You just paid people to make it. And they're like, how can we utilize this in the worst way possible that only helps us get closer to the goal of hollowness of bullshit? Like, I don't know. Like, you do it for such, like, I'm sorry, and that shit is so fucking cringe. That McDonald's thing, like, I can clearly see so many of y'all not being caught dead eating McDonald's because that's like peasant food. But like now that it's all about like let's just be the most depraved human beings possible because we're all in this sinking ship together. Yeah, right. Like I'm telling you, this elaborate domino thing. It's not gonna be long before you stab each other in the fucking back. Some of you already have in some ways. You just don't know it yet. Um, I don't know, like it's so amusing to me. Like you have these rich people city things going on, and then you have these plans to have like fucking slaves and that. And then like how much longer do you think before like are all rich people gonna be created equal in this situation? I don't think they will. I'm interested to see how that works, but also not enough to really be invested in a future like that. Like if you want to be in that timeline, you can have that timeline. I want to be in the timeline where everyone gets to be happy. But like at least have the audacity to be smart yourselves and to actually develop some things. You just pay people to do that for you. You just pay people to be analysts. You just pay people to study mind shit and spell work and astral and you know psychic manipulation and ad shit. Like I know how you fucking do these ads. You think I started picking up on that not too long? Well, actually, I started picking up on that, like your whole formula behind ads too, how you use a specific word a certain set of times, and then like I'm sorry, but that is kind of a violation of consent. Like I don't, I can't wait till this shit is like that level of manipulation of people is illegal. I cannot wait for that shit. Like, oh, right. So you don't care about rights. You only care about rights as far as it concerns yourself. Anyway, the point is, I don't know why you guys like you seriously compare yourselves to these old world conquerors. And I'm like, at least they had to come up with their own shit. Your only superpower is that you had money and you got someone else to do it. Because the thing is, you can't make anything yourselves. It's like Sauron. Like, can't make anything. He just takes all he can do is take things that are good and distort them. That's all you guys do. So like whatever. If you're gonna just like delete YouTube comments and stuff, you're just gonna like accelerate it further, and that's okay with me. Like if you want to accelerate your own downfall further, that's fine. You can have that. Um, it'd be awesome too if we came up with just a better YouTube, like we did with Blue Sky. Honestly, because it sucks when everything is owned by basically supervillains, Like, literally, some of y'all are fucking straight up devils, but I think the scary part is that some of you aren't even. You don't even have that excuse. You don't even have that excuse. You're just like sad and scared, and that's the only reason you suck so much. That is the only reason you suck as much as you do. It's the simple fact that you're sad and scared and you're hollow inside. And there's no other good reason. There's no other good reason. Let's be honest. The reason this shit like attracts you in the first place is because you feel deficient in some way. That's it. Anyway, happy solstice or whatever.